Hi everyone, thanks for tuning in for another one of these unboxing videos. This is the last of the 5 Golden Ticket series boxes that we did. And as you've probably noticed, we went from 78 stroke 79 to 76 to 74 stroke 73 and then 72 kind of stroke 71. The other year that really tempted me was 77, and that was definitely one that we were going to do, but in the end I got drawn to the Replica tour, just because I thought it was I'd never seen it. I didn't go to any of the Replica shows. I was too young, so it's always had that extra fascination for me, and it was different to the 76 tour. It was different, and I really loved the Replica album. So we decided for the 5th one we'd go to 74 stroke 75 I suppose, but the Replica tour. One of the reasons for that was when I was a teenager I came across this book, sort of a very early bootleg discography, and at the back, because they're all in alphabetical order, you've got a list of bootlegs, and they illustrated the cover from Sorceror'S Apprentice. So when I started collecting bootlegs, that was my kind of holy grail really. So over the years, I did manage to get a few. I've actually sold some, but I think I've got about 6 or 7 left of different versions, coloured vinyls and whatever. And so I did end up collecting them and getting them, really loving that album as a bootleg. So Hollywood Bowl 75, Mike Millard recording. Could we do anything to improve the sound? The complete show came out on CD quite a while back in Japan, and they got hold of the master. So we had a look at it, we had a listen to it, and we thought, yes, we can make this even nicer. So the project we decided on was basically Return of the Sorceror's Apprentice, and this is the box that we did for it. So we were able to sort of enjoy some Roger Dean imagery, play about with it, and it was really good fun, and we had some really really pleasurable times working on the CD housing, which you'll see when we get to it. Same as before, with the sticker on the plastic protective sleeve, but this time no strapline on the bottom, because that's where we put the title. So I'll get out the bag. This is by far the heaviest, most substantial box we ever did. I think we probably thought after we'd done this, we're not going to beat this, so good time to finish off. So really heavy, ridiculous really. 5 CD set I think we make on this one. Again, title all around the spine, around the sides of the box. We tried to kind of replicate the wraparound style of the Sorceror's Apprentice, so we did it as a kind of wraparound, going round there and then continuing to the back. And believe you me, getting those to print so they marry up correctly was an absolute nightmare. These sort of little details here which we're trying to get perfect, oh my goodness me, the number of times we failed. We've got it in the end, and so yeah. So let's have a look at it. So that was the box lid. We'd also improved in the quality of the imagery that we were sending to the printers this time, and I think it really made a difference. The inside of the lid again has your box number and name. Now some of you may already know what that is referencing, but that's kind of the shell fly thing that Roger Dean did, and they did like almost a 3D image of it, which we extracted, and it's sitting on strawberries which are running down some bricks. So for those that are a bit baffled by that, on the Sorceror's Apprentice bootleg they started it with a little brief interview that John did, and it was just one statement really that they used where he said symphonic rock is not a good word to describe Yes. It's a bit like strawberry bricks. So it's a fantastic quote. What we did with the music, we actually used that quote and overlaid it over the intro to the show, which the engineer did a fantastic job of that, timed it perfectly. So let's dive down and see what's inside. Right, so this is what's inside the box. There's so much stuff, it's completely overflowing the box. We couldn't get a thicker box, but by that time we'd kind of had them printed anyway, so we didn't know how thick it was going to be. So this is the ribbon on this one, so we used the relayer imagery. And we had to use a bigger sticker because of the so much stuff it's got to hold in place. Okay, so there's your standard gold welcome and congratulations on what this box contains. This was the welcome card. Welcome to the wizardry of Yes, celebrating the magical music that was the 1974-75 Yes tour. On the back of that, some blurb and imagery from the Sorceror's Apprentice bootleg. We did a sort of half replica of the tour program. This is the yellow one, that's the red one, so we used those for the outside, and then we just used the sort of general text from the tour program. Quite nice thick stock paper. This then is the wallet, which for some reason we didn't put in a plastic outer. So you'll see we extrapolated the wizard from the green slade painting, and that follows the theme throughout. So inside that, get them all out. Okay, so we did a larger certificate, number your box, gold ticket as usual, and then these were the insert cards. John, Alan, Chris, Steve, Patrick, it's very easy from the 75 to 76 period to get the photos wrong. So tried our best not to make that mistake. We may not have succeeded. We then did this we did 4 postcards. Chris at his home where the album was recorded. That's promo shot, logo on. That's from Chris's garden, I believe, when they were recording, having rest from the recording. And that again, another promo shot from the same place. So we thought those made nice colour postcards. We then did this A4 sized inner with that beautiful classy photo of the band, and on the back that was the Reading 75 press ad. Okay, we then did this replica of the Sorceror'S Apprentice bootleg insert, wraparound insert. That's just a complete replica of it. On the inside we did this little feature on it, just for collectors really, talking about the bootleg. And then we put this insert in there as well. So this is basically history behind the lady who was responsible for Vicky Vinyl, who released the bootleg originally on Idle Mind Records, and then the 74 Ephemery bootleg, which had the Boston Gardens 74 broadcast. This is a blurb about the Corniphone label that released that. So that was just a little bit about the original bootlegs that formed the inspiration and basis for this set. Okay, so we then come to the book. I think we're up to 48 pages now. So again, you'll see we followed through with the triangle, which fitted really nicely in that gap under the arms. And there's the back. Golden Years of Yes. We found that cookie cutter or whatever it is. So very quickly run through the book, introducing tours, information about Rick and him leaving, and Patrick joining, and the background to the relayer period really. Page of Patrick, and then some writings about Patrick, and then start talking about the relayer tour specifically, including some quotes. Talking about the tracks, so there's only 3 on the album. Okay, so now Relayer on tour, and we're starting to talk about the tour specifically. The first US Relayer tour, which took us up to December the 17th, 74. And then we've got reviews of some of those shows from America. Memorabilia from the tour, 74 period tour. Then we've got the UK tour, which was April to May 75. Set lists, etc. Okay, so we've then got imagery from the 75 UK stage set, which you'll recognise the photos, and then fan recollections of the shows. We've then got the further UK Relayer tour from 75, and more fan recollections. And then a load of memorabilia there, as you can see, 75 tour memorabilia. Okay, and then the inevitable Roger Dean stage creation stuff. This is for the US shows, US tour, the Barnacles tour, the Barnacles stage set. That's the inner spread. And then we've got the second US relayer tour, which is June to July, and some great pictures from that. And then recollections of the of that part of the tour from America. And we've got rare rarities there. Now that word rare, convoluted from the relayer logo, took ages to get it right. We got it right just in the end. And then a feature about the QPR 75 box set, which still hasn't happened. And then the feature on the relayer picture disc. Okay, then that page is to do with the BBC QPR 75 broadcast. These are all DVDs and laserdiscs imagery, and we've called it the Great BBC Debacle QPR 75. That's a little diatribe about that. And then some blurb about my own kind of personal getting hold of Sorceror's Apprentice originally, always having been affected by it. You can see the book I showed you is imaged there. And so that's quite heartfelt. And then we did some special pressings come out from the tour. Splatter vinyl there. Different coloured Sorceror's Apprentice pressings. Okay, and then we've got the various tour programs from the relayer tours, and then all the audio, the source information there. Okay, we then did a little feature on Mike Millard, including quite an interesting clip that we found actually from 76, where he was going to tape a show and the show got cancelled, and so that's why there's no Mike Millard recording from the 76 tour. Introductory page to the bootlegs. So there's Boston Gardens vinyl bootlegs on there. And then 74 relayer tour CDs there. And I think those are 75 relayer tour bootlegs there. And then the special bootlegs that have come out from the relayer tour on that page. Final credits page. And that was the book. So the thickest book we've ever done. Okay, so we then come to this. We went completely overboard on the posters because there were so many brilliant kind of ideas to do with posters, but we also did a really nice portfolio, and these two things are housed in here. So the posters themselves, we did this little sort of folder with the revamped relayer cover, and then I think there is 9 posters, so take all those out. That was the inside of that when we did another insert. And that again is more commentary and Chris sitting on the barnacle stage set in his garden, I believe. And then that was a great photo that we used for the inside of the folder. And so the posters, I'll show you these. We had the posters done in particularly thick paper, which hasn't been the best idea because we had to fold most of them. So couldn't avoid creasing them, unfortunately, but that was the one. We did a lovely reproduction of the Stoke City poster advert. Beautiful, beautiful quality. These were just fantastic live shots. I think if you can do them as posters, if they are good enough in quality, that was the most amazing photograph of Patrick. So we wanted to do that certainly as a poster for him. So John, again, beautiful high resolution. All these have written on his golden ticket series. No other logos. Didn't put the name on. Didn't need to really. Stunning shot of Alan. And then we did this slightly extra long one of Chris. It is a classic photograph. And then that's the main one. So I think that was nine posters or something ridiculous we did. I won't bother putting all those away on film. This was a really, really delightful thing to do. So many of you will know the QPR 75 show came out in Japan on Laserdisc, which I've got a copy of. So we replicated the Laserdisc cover using the same font. We just changed it there to Yes Live 1975, and then at the bottom put Return of the Sorceror's Apprentice. And on the back we had to adapt it to get rid of the stuff that was on there, get rid of the Yes logo and fill it in invisibly, which we did. Created this kind of portfolio logo, and yeah, so that was just became a folder. But in the middle we did this envelope. So that was a beautiful relayer colorized image, and we did this envelope to house the photographs, which aren't those photographs. But inside the folder, again we replicated the Laserdisc thing, which actually has pages. So the outer is thick card, and the inner sheets. And it had the most wonderful photographs on this from this internal layout. So we had to use that. There's no way I was not going to use that. So that became the housing for the envelopes. Now we used these transparent little stickers to hold this down, so I'm going to see if I can get this off without damaging. They should be resealable. This has not been off for a while. That's okay. So we created this envelope, had it made. And it housed these things. So we called it portfolio, and again just fantastic live shots, close-ups and shots of the band. And now every band member now has a card, so we did them in again black and white, just with 3 layer logos, but on the reverse of each one we adapted the biog info from the tour program, and used this portfolio logo as a header. So that's the John one, that's the Chris one. So these are little ideas that we sort of come up with, thinking we've got to use these photos, how can we best use them? This information from the program is really useful to have, and this is how we did it. And it's difficult not to duplicate the photos sometimes, because sometimes you forget which ones you've used, but I think we've managed mostly okay. So that was what you got in the portfolio. So I will just put that back and reseal it, because so particularly proud of that envelope thing, to be honest, because take a lot of designing and to get it right. Okay, so then we come to this little beast. I'll take it out to show you the bottom of the box. So green logo, Sorceror'S Apprentice from the outside. Put the 2 versions of the what do you want to call it, shell fly thing, and then we put our wizard behind the snake. So he's behind the rocks, snake's at the front, and then the relayer stuff is at the very back, so that involved a bit of rejigging in terms of what goes behind what. Right, so we then come to now this has not been seen by me since pretty much we did it, but this is what we did to house the discs. So it's a gatefold thing, as you can see, very hard thick card, fully laminated. And what we did it so that you open it, first of all there's live photo, snakes either side, wizard at the bottom, title there, relayer live, and then the yes logo, we made it slightly faint so it didn't dominate the live shot. And then you open it up and you have a 3D pop-up design. So I'd wanted to have a go at one of these, and I think we got it to work. And yeah, so basically got this fantastic picture at the back. It's all laminated, this, and then basically a logo at the front centre, and then the pop-ups had to sort of surround that, not get in the way, and that's what we did. So then what you do is you close that up, and then you turn it around more like a standard book. So you fold the next page over, and that gave you 4 discs. So those are the 2 from the Hollywood Bowl show, and the track listings are actually underneath the discs. So we used clear spiders for the discs to go on. Really nice printed disc this time. So the Hollywood Ball has the snake relayer. Boston Gardens has a blue surround and the spider fly kind of thing, again with the tracks behind it. And then the fifth and bonus disc is there, which basically we put the snake and the whatever you want to call that thing, which I knew what that was called, the fly shell thing, and obviously the bonus tracks are underneath that. And to this side we then have a book, and that was the imagery on the final page. So the booklet, obviously this is the booklet, then random notes on this is to do with the music that's on the discs. Oops. So history of the Hollywood Bowl, review of the show, fan comments, some early pictures of the Hollywood Bowl. These are then the CDs, the Mike Millard masters, his original tapes, and then the Japanese CDs that had the master tape. That was the original Highland show, and this was the Mike Millard masters that came out. So that's all talking about when they unearthed the Mike Millard tapes, the differences, the improvement, reviews of the shows, and then these are our comments on the performance notes. So first of all, talking about the performance on the shows of each track, and then different colour now. We're doing the same thing with Boston Gardens. So the history of the place, full story of the recording, King Biscuit Flower Hour, and then stuff about the broadcasts, all sorts of information that we could find, and then fan reviews and press reviews of Boston Gardens, and then performance notes on the Boston show, and then there's a performance notes on the bonus tracks. And so yeah, and that was the back of it. So I think we finally got something near professional quality, and something really we felt was interesting and succeeded beyond our wildest dreams, really. And of course I have to say about the music on it, the Hollywood Bowl recording was just, it was a brilliant recording, open air concert obviously, but the remaster on most of it came up absolutely brilliant, and it's all on YouTube, and it's really pleasurable to listen to. Strangely, the only track that didn't come up so well was Gates of Delirium. I don't know why that was, but and of course the Boston Garden 74, that was the other main show that we used, so we remastered that again, cleaner on the drumming, and I think it was just a bit smoother, but really, I mean, Ritual is just blows your head, really. And then the bonus tracks were really interesting. I've got the book here to hand. So yeah, so there were some great recordings on the bonus tracks as well. We did put the rare stuff in, although that was dodgy quality, but we managed to bring it up a bit better. So South Side is there from Tulsa, but it's still pretty dire, to be honest. But it had to go in because they only did it really with Patrick twice, I think, and that was the only one that was anyway listenable. but leaves are green, high vibration. We had another version of Ritual to be over, and it was just a wonderful thing. I think it really succeeded. So there you are, that was our fifth and final Golden Ticket Series box set. I don't honestly think we were ever going to improve upon that one, and I was just really happy with everything about it, really, the way it ended up. I mean, getting those 3D pop-ups to look anything near sort of professionally made. The amount of time we worked on those. But anyway, each one, as you've seen, has got a slightly different way of housing the CDs. So we've tried to be inventive, a bit of fun, bit of interest, but also something that's really pleasurable to sort of look at as you're listening to the music. The music's got to be the thing, so you've got to want to listen to the music. It's no good having all this packaging and sticking something on that's sort of not listenable, or it's just you can get better down the road or whatever. So we needed to make sure that the music was special on all these sets, and I think we did that, with the possible exception of Tales, only because we were working with audience sources and not brilliant ones. Because the thing about Tales, it basically technology in terms of stealth recording equipment improved leaps and bounds between 74 and 75. All the famous tapers were upgrading their equipment, and so the sound quality of shows from kind of 75 onwards was always far better than sort of previously. So it's a shame, really, but until somebody finds a complete soundboard Tales show, we've got to work with what we've got. So anyway, for this, obviously we had a great live recording by Mike Millard at the Hollywood Bowl, and we had the fantastic Boston Garden 74 broadcast, and in both cases we brought them up massively and put some nice rare bonus tracks on as well. So everything you'd want from the Relay Tour, as far as I'm concerned, presented in a, I think that's appropriate for a Yes live box set to look like that. Okay, so thanks for staying with me for these box sets. I'm particularly proud of this last one that we did. I believe that's the more than suitable live Yes box set, what it should look like from sort of 75 period. They'll never bring one out, I'm sure. Anything like what we want to see, what we want to have. So we've all got the Boston Gardens recording, but we've got a great recording from Mike Millard, improved yet again here. And the Boston Gardens was just a great recording, and we managed to improve the sound with the remastering. Just brilliant. So thank you for watching, and see you soon.